Lucky Lefty Podcast. Happy Friday. Yeah, it's the end of the week. Super Bowl week. OC search week. Everything is popping. LL Nation. The Onora boys are in the building. Brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey.
We actually got it here. I got it. Hold on now.
OnoraWhiskey.com.
Just to let y'all know, we still in business. We making it happen.
Now, which one is that? Because I know you crafted a rye one recently. Which one is that?
The Tavon Coney version.
That's the T Coney. Okay, that's the T Coney. Look, T Coney has to come on the podcast, bro.
Got to.
Now we can't constantly promote the whiskey, and we can't get one of the top 5 middle linebackers ever to come on the podcast.
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? We gotta get T Coney on the podcast. We actually had a request from Max Redfield the other day.
That's right. We can get Max on too. That's my guy.
That cat Max is hilarious to kick it with, bro.
Man, listen, you talk about the most interesting man in the world.
Man.
Trench coat with an open shirt.
Wait a minute. Because when we kicked it with him, he had just come back from playing overseas, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's like playing in Italy or somewhere.
Yeah, playing like high school football in Italy, basically. Crushing it, just crushing the competition. You know,
man, stop.
He would be James Bond, the football player, international business superstar. You know, I'm like, listen, if you want to do all that, you should have played soccer.
Apple Podcast, Spotify. Also follow us on YouTube, Lucky Lefty Podcast. CFB Nation in conjunction with Irish Breakdown. All of our great content. It's the Lucky Lefty Podcast. You already know. We spin it different. Hey, Lef. It's Friday, bro. You know we do it for the culture. I don't know if you saw this. Vibe magazine put out their top 10 rappers of all time, dude.
Oh, man. Why is Eminem on the list? I think that's another misnomer. He's very good, but top 10?
Bro, look, man. Okay. Look, it's 2023. I've raised a young lioness.
Okay.
But Nicki Minaj has no business in the top 10, though.
She doesn't. But
she's no business in the top 10.
But she is the best female rapper of all time.
We talking about record sales?
We talking about lyrics, bar for bar.
Nah.
And the biggest female rap influence in rap.
If we're being objective, she's not a better lyricist than Rhapsody. She's just not. If we're being objective.
Okay.
If we're being objective.
If we're being objective, okay, I agree with you on that. But Rhapsody doesn't get the proper.
No, she doesn't get the push, the mainstream push. No. None of that. No. I would say Wayne is too low.
Wayne's got to be top 5.
No, they got him at 7. That's too low for Wayne.
I'm saying in a real list.
Yeah. I would put they got Kendrick Lamar number 2.
I like putting Nas at 2.
Yeah, I got to drop Kendrick down. Maybe out of the top 5.
Kendrick's like, he's in the top 10, but not top 5.
Absolutely.
Drake's up there, though.
Drake is at number 8.
He should be top 5, too.
No, see, Drake and Kendrick, like, fringe top 5 for me.
Really?
It's debatable whether or not, like, I wouldn't be mad if you put them in the top 5, but I would probably put them around 5, 6, 7. Because you start talking about names like Wayne, Biggie, Nas, Pac. That's a lot. That's a lot for guys in this era to get through.
Well, Pac is more of a rap influence than he is a straight rapper.
You don't think Pac had bars?
Well, he just doesn't have a big enough collection to be like, oh, he has the top 10 bars of all time, because it wasn't enough. And I thought him as a rap influence is top 2 if not. Which I think if we're just talking rappers, just straight on the mic, like Wayne is undisputedly a top 5 rapper, just undisputed.
Oh, facts.
So Pac is not like Wayne in that respect.
No.
That's why I wouldn't put Pac in the top 5 with Wayne.
Yeah.
They just different.
So I see someone put it in the chat, but for me personally, Rakim will be in my top 10 just on the mere fact that he shifted the culture.
Yeah, that's respect.
And the style of rhyme. Like cats were rhyming like Run DMC, and then Ra and KRS-One came, and the culture shifted forever. So, like every rapper now really owes a bit of gratitude to Rakim and KRS-One for kind of like taking a detour off the path that hip hop was on and saying, no, we're going to take it this direction.
That's right.
And from that point, you know, which is funny because a lot of this drill rhyme pattern is very similar to where things started with Run DMC, Grandmaster Flash. It's that chopped up, so it's funny how cyclical hip hop has become in a way. But yeah, man, for the Culture Friday, each and every Friday right here, Lucky Lefty podcast. I just wanted to point that out, Left. That their top 10 is Jay, Kendrick, Nas, Tupac, Eminem, Big, Lil Wayne, Drake, Snoop, Nicki Minaj.
They still living in the 90s, 2000s. You don't know all the rap that came out after that. Like they literally named an era of rap. They didn't name even over the span of time.
Like for me, M will be in my top 10. I've always said he's not top 5 for me, but
But man,
that's interesting.
What?
Give me a top 10. If I had asked someone to give me a top 10 Notre Dame players of all time,
what would it be based off of, though?
How many people will put players from like the last 10 years in their top 10? Because we're talking about being masters of like prisoners of the moment. Like, remember last week, I had to literally talk to you about how cold it was, like how electric it was to watch Rocket every week.
Right.
Like I had to explain to you what it was like sitting in front of the TV with an expectation every week, like, yo, this dude is going to break one. Like, it's just a matter of time. Like,
crazy.
And there's nothing you can do. Like, it's nothing the defense can do, right? Because he's on offense, he's on kickoff return, he's on punt return. It's like, there's nothing. I just watched the 1990 Tennessee game for like the 5th time yesterday. Dude, Tennessee was, you know how, on the kickoff, the kicker runs up to the ball. Their kicker dudes took one step to the ball. Just to make sure he kicked it short. It was like he just impacted the game. Yeah. Like crazy. So it would be hard for me to go beyond. I would probably put Paul Hornung in there.
Really?
Yeah, if you really look at what Paul Hornung did, I would put Hornung in my top 5. I definitely would. Tim Brown would be in my top 5. Rocket would probably be in my top 5. That's 3. I don't know if I can get anybody in the last 10 years in my top 5. Maybe Manti. Maybe Manti can sneak into the top 5. We're talking all time.
Jalen be. Oh, that's my personal opinion.
But though, did Jalen really have a better career than Manti? Like we know he's the better player.
Wait a minute now.
We know he's the better player.
Wait a minute. They both won the Buckets Award.
Facts. I agree with you. I'm not here to argue that. I'm not here to argue that. I'm not here to argue
They
that.
both won the Buckets Award.
Dude, I'm not here to argue that. I'm not here to argue that. You're missing my point, man. You're missing my point. I'm not here to argue that at all. I'm just saying when people put together these lists, to me, it's a clear sign that they're showing either their age or their bias, in my opinion.
Mm.
You know
Like
what
how
I'm
they
saying?
say Magic in their era was better than this era, that type of deal. Or like could Rip Hamilton play in today's game? That type Rasheed Wallace can play in today's
Well,
game.
look, athletes are athletes, right? If I was born today, I would be born with a chip in my head to be able to use technology. Because these kids, I'm sure your sons can work phones right now,
Yeah,
iPads,
it's crazy. It's
with
really
no
crazy. It's really
without you teaching them one thing.
But we didn't even have that. You
That's what I'm
know,
saying.
we didn't
It's
even have
crazy that children that are born into this time just come equipped to be able
it.
to
Just
deal
know.
with technology.
Yeah.
Like I was taking a class on how to do like MS DOS on a floppy disk back in the day, bro.
Whoa.
Right,
That's like you speaking another language or something.
right. And our kids come here and just pick up these
Know
and
how to call
easily
you,
use it.
know
So
how
I
to
mean,
text. I mean,
yeah,
it's crazy.
I think greatness is greatness, and greatness is very much adaptable in time. So if you put Rocket in today's game, Rocket would probably go crazy. He would probably have been what Percy Harvin was in his time. And he probably would do the same thing right now, bro. He would go crazy. So Brandon Gilbert has his top 10. Let's see, Brandon. See? See, I can already tell how old Brandon is, bro. Because his range is like
Right in that
stuck,
pocket.
yeah.
Right in that pocket.
It's starting right around Tim Brown and it's ending right around Manti.
See, Q and
Or
Jalen
or
Smith should
Q,
be in
shall
that
I say, or
game.
Q,
Yeah.
shall I say.
Q and Jalen Smith are automatic top 10 Notre Dame players. Automatic. And Eifert. Well, damn. And Michael Floyd. You can throw Michael Floyd in there too.
Bro, you talking now? See, that's a lot of great players, bro. Like I think you did this. Look, let me tell you how.
Rockets in there.
Let me tell
Tim
you
Brown
how.
in there.
Okay, see, Lilo's going back. He has Paul Horn. He has Angelo Bertelli, Alan Page, who's an
Alan
NFL Hall
Page.
of Famer, Joe
Yeah.
Montana, Bryant Young, who's a Hall of
Was
Famer.
Joe Montana's career
Bro,
the same?
see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, was it the same in
Like
Notre Dame as it was?
I don't know if
Obviously.
he had. I don't know. He had the moments, right? The Cotton Bowl against Houston, the chicken soup at halftime. He's sick. He comes back, leads them back. Joe Montana had moments. Did he have better? Did he have better stats than Joe Theismann? Bob Crable was a fantastic. Ross Browner was absolutely amazing. There's so many great players. It's so many great players, bro. And it's hard to be objective. It's almost impossible to put together a consensus top 10 list when it comes to Notre Dame. Dude,
Because technically Ian got to be in the top 10.
Ian who? Man, Lucky
Ian is,
Lefty podcast.
Ian
Look,
is the winningest quarterback in Notre Dame history. That's top 10, automatic.
he's in your top 10? Because I'm telling you now, he's not in my top 10. He makes your top 10?
He has to be in the top 10 in general.
Come on, man.
If
Look,
you're the winningest
look,
quarterback in a
just look,
program
look,
history,
look, look, just look. Just look at the responses.
man, all I know
Just,
is he's the winningest quarterback and
just look at the responses.
he's in the Super Bowl. What do you call that?
Just look at the response.
Just what's the measuring stick? What's the measuring stick?
Man, I don't know what the measuring stick is, but he is not measuring up at all.
It's like LeBron. LeBron is an all-time leading scorer. It's undisputed who the best player is.
You know what? You know who else we have to get on the show? We got to get Shell on the show. I was watching, I think, what was that, the 18 or the 19 Super Bowl with the Chiefs and the 49ers, and I forgot Shell was in that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm watching the game. I'm like, oh, man, Shell was on the 49ers in that Super Bowl.
Man, Shell has a great football career so far. With the Browns, with the Colts. Went back home, played for the Colts. Got on the 49ers for a while. So, he's definitely making it happen, man. I love watching him, do it in all doubts. Because remember, he had gotten hurt right before his takeoff year.
Right.
Because remember his freshman year, he was crazy. He was like Aaron Donald. And then he got hurt. And to see him build it back up, man, it's crazy. It's good to see. Him and Jerry in that interior is dangerous.
Well, let's see. That was a dangerous combination, him and Jerry. And you have to realize Jerry was a tackle. He was an offensive tackle that switched over.
It was just big in space. See, that's a different type of intensity. A Jerry and Sheldon is different than an Amendola and a Chris Smith. Just a different type of Jerry's a household name, man. Him and Sheldon are household names. So interesting.
Lucky Lefty podcast. So that spawned that thought to me, right? How can you be objective with a program as much history as Notre Dame? How can you objectively put together a top 10 list? It really goes to your era, what you watched, and you really have to be able to do your homework and dig to be able to give the players of the past or that predated you the respect due in order to put them on the list. I thought it was very, very important. Shout out to the Jets having the Rookie of the Year offensively and defensively last night at NFL Honors.
That's that GM.
Yeah, shout out to them, and shout out to we can't win playoff games, but shout out to Dak for winning the Walter Payton Man of the Year award.
Dak Prescott won it.
Yeah. Shout out to him. And shout out to Justin Fields, who was on press row yesterday. Very impressive young man. Very impressive. For you guys, go watch his interview with Rich Eisen. And you know how I despise the media asking the same question like 2-3 times, trying to goad people into saying something. Rich Eisen kept asking him like multiple ways, have the Bears talk to you about, how they're going to bring other quarterbacks in, so they can make it seem like they're going to take a quarterback to get people to trade up. And he said no the first time. And he came right back around the corner and asked it another way. Justin Fields was like, we don't talk about that. Free agency is first. I think that's what they're focused on. And I was so proud of the dude. I'm like, man, you know what? You're well trained. You're well trained, young Jedi.
They're not treating him like they're treating Jalen Hurts.
Well,
I think they one in the same in terms of a career trajectory. One just got a better team right now, but they damn near one in the same on a talent level.
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting. We're about the Tyler Evans, perfect segue. Thank you for the super chat. What do you think of the Hall of Fame class this year? Look, man, Left, you go ahead. You go ahead and fire off.
Are we reading at now? Was it the potentials that I was looking at, or was it the ones that actually got in this year? Because hold on. Okay, I was looking at the eligible list. Well, who got in this year? Okay, I was looking at a different list. I was like, I know this man, Andrew Luck, didn't get in that mug. Man, Sterling Sharp didn't make it.
Now, see, that right there is ridiculous.
That's crazy.
The fact that Sterling Sharp is still not in the Hall of Fame.
But Shannon made it.
Dude, Rondé Barber's not a Hall of Famer to me. That's just me personally.
He's a Hall of Famer on attrition. He
Yeah, he
just
was
played.
never the best defensive back in the. He was all right. Don Coryell for what he brought to the passing game in the NFL, absolutely. Chuck Howley, I've heard great things about him. Joe Klecko was a dude for the Jets, bro.
He was nice.
Yeah, Joe Klecko was nice. He was nice. That was when they had him and Mark Gastineau. That defense was crazy. Terrell Reeves is definitely a first.
Obviously, DeMarcus Ware. Obviously, Joe
Ken,
Thomas. Obviously,
Ken Riley, I don't know too much about. Joe Thomas, definitely. Zach Thomas, definitely. And
I thought that was
DeMarcus,
the same person.
yeah. And DeMarcus, well, I'm not mad. I'm not mad with that 9-man class. The only person I really don't know a lot about would be Ken Riley, cornerback for the Cincinnati Bengals from 69 to 83. He has some longevity, so I'm sure his stats are pretty amazing. I'm reading right here, courtesy of ESPN, with Ken Riley. They said this is why he was selected. A seniors committee finalist, Riley, who recently died in 2020. Among players who played cornerback for their entire career, only Dick Night Train Lane finished with more career interceptions. A former quarterback at Florida A&M, HBCU, Riley played with a full understanding of offenses, and his skills allowed him to make life difficult for the league's best receivers. Okay. All right. So he was a ball hawk.
Mm.
All right. Much respect to Ken Riley and the other 8, except Rondé Barber. Just he's not it for me, man.
Yeah, he was never the best at any point, but he was always around. So
Yeah, I guess. I guess so. I guess so. Lucky Lefty podcast for the Culture Friday. We're gonna get to the OC search. Heather Dinich. It's so funny, man, because Heather Dinich, she'll post stuff. I'm like, man, that news has been on message boards for like 2-3 days at Notre Dame. But she has Mickey Mouse behind her. So once she tweets something out, it has legs, I guess. We talked about this yesterday, and I asked you about what your thoughts on Colin Klein, offensive coordinator at Kansas State. And, we'll get into that in a few moments, along with some other stuff. Nathan Hill, thank you for the super chat. Yeah. You know what? I'm not a firm D Hess. D Hess was not a first ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion. Not a first ballot. Is he a
he's a
Hall of
Chicago most of his career.
Is he a Hall of Famer? Yes. Is he a first ballot? No.
What gives you first ballot?
First ballot is Deion Sanders. First ballot is like a dude that as soon as they retire, like, oh, Patrick Mahomes is first ballot.
Already?
Tom Brady is first ballot.
Wait, Patrick Mahomes a first ballot already?
We're not about to do this, Left. Left, we're not about to do this. We're not about to do this. If Patrick Mahomes walked off the field on Sunday and said, I'm done, he still will be looked upon as one of the greatest quarterbacks to play the game. Stop, man. What are y'all talking about? I watched a week full of other NFL players just say the same thing I said. Why are we playing games? The people that play against this dude, the people that play against him week in and week out, have said this for the full week leading up to the Super Bowl. And now y'all want to act funny because I said it right here on the podcast.
It's only been 3 years.
Stop. Dude, wait a minute. Did they not just argue for Andrew Luck? Did they not just argue for Andrew Luck?
But see, that's a different set of standards.
No. Answer the question. Did they just not argue for Andrew Luck? Then there is no way you can compare Andrew Luck to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
At all.
At
at
all.
all.
At all.
So let's stop, man. Let's stop. You don't have to disagree with me. You're disagreeing with NFL players that have said it all week.
Man, once they put the Andrew Luck thing up
First
there,
of
I said
all,
the streets are
he
dead.
has 2 MVPs. He just picked up another one last night. Correct yourself. Correct yourself.
Yeah, he's kicking butt. Yeah,
Stop. Come on, man. That dude has come on. Stop, man. Stop. People have to stop. You know what I've realized? You know why people are bad? Because people have a natural inclination to hate. Right? No. No. And you know why? I'm going to use your boy. I'm going to use your boy. I'm going to use your boy. Right? So we transition from Mike and we transition into the Kobe era.
Okay.
Right? Do you remember when they were like, when, Kobe was asking LeBron at the All-Star game, why didn't you shoot the
Oh,
ball,
yeah,
be
yeah.
more aggressive, all of that? Dude, LeBron James was the best player in basketball at that point, bro.
At that time, yeah.
Now, he wasn't winning. Kobe was still winning championships. But you knew LeBron was coming. You
Yeah.
knew he was coming. If LeBron had retired at that point, LeBron was a Hall of Famer, dude. Look at him. Just
Wait,
watch him play.
what was that, 2015?
Dude, that might have been Bron's maybe like 5th or 6th year in the league.
Oh, yeah.
After 5 years, you knew LeBron James was a Hall of Famer. What are we talking about? What are we talking? So you're gonna sit here and tell me that you've watched Patrick Mahomes play for the last 5 years and you don't know he's a Hall of Famer? What are we doing?
Because anything can happen over a long span of time.
Bro.
Like Peyton Manning, like James Harrison.
Did you Did you know after watching Peyton Manning for the first 5 years that this dude okay?
Well, they gave him a green light. Peyton Manning had the most interceptions as a rookie, meaning
Absolutely.
that he was out there doing everything he ended up doing in the future.
And what happened the next 3 years after that first year?
Well, yeah, he got out of the system.
Wait a minute. Wait. Did he not turn around a terrible organization? I'm just saying, man. Look, you ain't dude. Stop. People have a problem with change. Let's keep it a buck. People have a problem with change. See, let's push back on Mahomes because people know Brady is done. See, that's the problem. They don't like the fact that Brady's not the dude anymore. And it's a new dude coming. They don't like that new dude. It was the same thing with Braun when he was coming. They knew Braun was coming.
So you look at Deion the same as Pat Mahomes as a undisputed, just close your eyes, put him in there.
Dude, Deion Sanders was on the Atlanta Falcons and you knew that dude was the Hall of Famer, bro. What are we talking? Wait a minute.
No, I know Deion. I'm just saying Deion and Pat are the same.
Go take Walter Payton's first 5 years on a horrible Bears team. Go watch him and tell me he wasn't a Hall of Famer. After 5 seasons, you knew Walter Payton was a Hall of Famer. What are we talking about right here, man? What are we doing?
What are we
doing? No, we thinking we got to critique and examine and all. Dude, you know Look, let me ask you a question. Now, see, this is what things. I'll give you a perfect example. MVP Derrick Rose. When you saw that, tell me you didn't walk away after that season like, okay, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he definitely was on the trajectory of it.
And the only thing that stopped him was what?
Injuries.
Okay.
Now, if Pat gets hurt, he already nicked up now.
Bro, Pat has stacked 5 years. This D Rose had 2 years of that level of greatness. 2
years, yeah, and it faded quick. It can happen at any point.
Do you realize Patrick Mahomes has never played a road playoff game, done?
Yeah, he's only been doing it for 3 years.
5. Why you keep saying 3?
He didn't play the first 2.
What are you talking about? He's been in the league 6 years.
Hold on.
He's been to 5 consecutive AFC championship games.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking.
And he's never played a road playoff game.
Oh, that's pretty impressive.
You don't even know what that feels like, bro.
But you got to think, too, he's on one of the greatest organized teams right now. He got Andy Reid, everything he wanted with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. I mean, you're not getting that too many other places.
Man, Tyler Evans, thank you for the super chat. Look back at the 89 draft class, the top 5 picks. I agree with you. Dude, look. I'll say this. You'll love this. The resume needs to be built. Because I think you need 4 or 5 years of a resume is good enough. In my opinion. That's why I say Sterling Sharp is easily a Hall of Famer. If you watch Sterling Sharp play football, you know he's a Hall of Famer. Like, stop. Stop. He was the best wide receiver in the league for 3 consecutive years. Stop. And that was with Jerry Rice in the league. There was a serious debate for at least 2 seasons. Who was better, Sterling Sharp or Jerry Rice? I'm talking about a legitimate debate. But this dude's not a Hall of Famer. Left. You looking at Trevor Lawrence right now. You don't see Hall of Famer?
I don't see
No,
it
no,
yet.
no. He has to stack the resume.
Yeah, his resume.
But don't tell me that comeback playoff win wasn't the beginning of something.
No, it definitely was the big.
It's the beginning of something.
I'm a
man.
very harsh critique on the Hall of Fame, so
And that's cool. That's cool. But don't
I
tell
love
me
what Trevor's doing, but it literally was for one season because the season before that he was garbage.
But in my opinion, the only thing that's going to stop Trevor Lawrence is injury.
Yeah,
he's too talented.
And team.
He's too talented. He's too talented. He's too talented.
If
bro.
he can keep the right coach, he'll be all right. But like Andrew Luck, first great couple seasons, and then he gets hurt, and that's it. He quits. But
and you know what? Did Deborah Thomas think, hey, you go look at Ricky Waters' stats in the NFL? Ricky Waters has a serious debate, bro. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying it's debatable. This is what, maybe we need to get some of the older people off the committee. Maybe we do. But I'm just telling you, man, when you have somebody that was legitimately playing football at a higher level than the GOAT, who is Jerry Rice to most. Who, by the way, we always thought Kareem's record would never be broken. I just don't see Jerry Rice's touchdown record being broken, bro.
Really?
Do you understand how long you have to play?
How many did he have? Something crazy, huh?
It's like 200. Let me get that. Okay, dude. He has receiving yards 22,895, 14 1,000-yard receiving seasons, 208 total touchdowns, and a combined net yards of 23,546. 208 touchdowns. So you would have to go.
These numbers are crazy. 208 touchdowns.
208 total touchdowns, bro.
Oh my gosh. Ain't nobody breaking that. That's just,
bro, 23,000 yards.
That just can't happen today because of how things are ran, It's too many good players, too many. Oh man. Yeah, that's why it wouldn't happen.
Let's see. We already saw sack record broken this year for Notre Dame, right?
$25, it can be broken.
Okay. The record for the most rushing attempts in a single game, that would never be broken. at Notre Dame.
The
Never
most rushing attempts in
in a single
game.
game. It's 40 by Alan Pinkett and Phil Carter. 40.
One person had 40 carries in the game?
Yes, sir. I don't think that will ever happen.
I don't know how that happens.
All right.
40 times they turn around and handed him the ball.
Yes. Yes. Career tackles, 521. Bob Crable. I don't think that gets broken.
And he played 4 years or 5 years?
4. 521 tackles in 4 years. That's an average of 130.
You tackling
shit. Yeah, you talk from the jump. You coming in, putting it down.
You tackling shit.
Let's see.
Because an impressive year is like 80 tackles.
At this point, 100. Yeah.
If you got 100, killing if you got 100.
Yeah. Now this is crazy. The longest kick return without scoring a touchdown. This goes back to 1911. We're talking Notre Dame crazy records that may not be broken. Alfred Bergman returned a ball 105 yards only to get tackled at the 4-yard line.
Damn.
It was a kick
That's
return.
A record.
Yeah. Rocket has 5 career kickoff returns for touchdowns. That's a record at Notre Dame. I don't think that gets broken.
In a season?
No, just total career. 5 career.
You can get 5 off.
Yeah, I guess someone could break that.
But somebody's got to be. He played it since the jump. We haven't had the same year returner on punt or kick return in a long time.
Dude, this is an interesting record. Lucky Lefty podcast talking Notre Dame records. Most punts in a single season. Joey Hillbowl in 2002 had 78 punts. Left up, that's about 7 punts a game.
Yo.
Man, that offense. Let's see.
Terrible.
18 tackles for loss in the season is the record set by Alan Page.
18 TFLs, it's not bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. I take that back. The number is 28, and it's Ross Browner. 28 tackles for loss in the season. And he holds the record for tackles for loss in a career at 77. Okay, 262 left. You think that will ever be eclipsed? The most rushing yards in a single game. Julius Jones, 262.
262? We could do that.
You think somebody can catch it?
Somebody in that room can do it. Maybe Jadarian Price.
Okay. Now this is a question. Can Tyler Buckner break Brandon's single game rushing record?
What is it?
207.
Brandon ran the ball like that?
Against Boston College, baby, in 2017.
He can't stay healthy enough to get that. So,
oh man, most touchdowns rushing in a game. Art Smith 7 touchdowns against Loyola back in 1911.
Most touchdowns in a game?
Yeah. Now this is a record.
How many?
7. 7 rushing touchdowns in a game. I don't think this record would ever be broken. George Gipp, he averaged 9.32 yards per attempt.
What year was that? Yeah, what year was that for real?
1920.
Yeah.
That's
impossible. Like you couldn't even, like not even Reggie Bush. Reggie Bush had 8.
Yeah.
And that was Reggie Bush. Of course, it had to be 1920. They probably couldn't. Man,
I didn't know EG held a record at Notre Dame, bro.
probably for some like throwing the ball long or something.
No. Everett Golson holds the record at Notre Dame for the most consecutive completions
Oh, it's against Syracuse.
at 25. Yeah.
Yep, I was there.
He said, "Yep, I was there."
I was there. I remember that game.
Do you think
They
anybody?
was giving us everything though. It was like the first play we had like a touchdown, so it was like, come on. Syracuse was not playing that night.
You stand on the sideline like, come on, dude.
I mean, they were just like, I knew we were good, but that was just no, man. We wasn't doing all that.
So, does anybody catch Brady Quinn? 11,762 career passing yards.
No, because at a day like that, if you're getting close to that, you're probably going to the league in 3.
You're going to the league in 3,
So
which
you
means
wouldn't
you
be
would
able to
have
get
to
there.
average 4,000 yards every season. Yeah. Brady might be safe.
Because nobody's going to want to stay that long if they doing that. No.
Yeah. Oh, Michael Floyd, 271 career receptions. I think no, I don't think anybody catches him.
Yeah, that was with Tommy.
Just over his career.
Mm.
And Golden Tate holds the record for most receiving yards in a season. Michael Floyd holds the record for most receiving yards in a career.
Really?
1,496 in a season is the record. Golden Tate. Michael
I feel like
Floyd,
we could beat that.
3686 for Michael Floyd.
3686.
Let's see. Last two. 95 career touchdown passes. Brady Quinn. Can anybody break that?
Career 92,
95.
95. That's if you start as a freshman, that's 25 a year.
No, bro, that's over. That's like 30, 31, 32. Pretty much you round up 32.
If it's 3 seasons.
If it's 3 seasons, yeah.
See, it's just a different game because if you're doing that in 2 seasons, you leaving. You know, you're not sticking around after that. I think Notre Dame's too, like, we aren't recruiting now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're recruiting, back when we were recruiting then is not like how we're recruiting now.
Yeah.
So the ample amount of players we have now, it's like, I just don't think it would be premiered enough for one individual to do like a crazy record unless they just got lucky or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just got too many ballers.
The last record, 39 consecutive wins. Will Notre Dame ever break that record and have 39 consecutive wins as a football program? That's a tough record, bro.
Consecutive?
Yeah. I think
That's
the
3
Lou Holtz
championship
group,
seasons in a row. A 3-peat.
that's pretty much what it would be.
No.
You on some Georgia stuff. That's basically like
No.
you're basically on some Georgia stuff right now. That would be crazy.
Technically, Georgia's only 15-0. They got a whole nother 19 games, right? Or something crazy.
Facts. Lucky Lefty podcast. All right, Left. Let's get into this. Colin Klein, someone we talked about yesterday, OC, Kansas State, has been reported to be one of mutual interest between he and Notre Dame. I confirmed with multiple sources that he indeed was on campus for an interview. and has chosen to stay at Kansas State. And we talked about this, whether it was him, Andy Ludwig, just the continuity on certain coaching staffs. You know, it's hard. Andy Ludwig, as much as we love him, it would be really difficult, in my opinion, for him to leave a Utah program where it seems like most coaches turn down overtures from other programs on an annual basis.
Yeah, I think what he built, it's hard to leave that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things we see that there's a heavy lean towards quarterback development because most people would think, play calling will be at the top of the list, but I think quarterback development is really at the top of the list for Marcus Freeman, which goes beyond, which lets me know he's not making this decision based on Sam Hart. That tells me everything.
Yeah.
Like
He
this
like
this
Sam,
decision has absolutely nothing to do with Sam Hart. This is all about Tyler Buckner, Kenny Minchie, CJ Carr, and the understanding that CJ Carr needs to feel comfortable with the new OC. That man, we're starting to like connect the dots on where they might be going with this. So even though we might have some names that we feel like are right up there, like Joe Brady, Joe Musgrave, veterans, really experienced play callers, it seems like Marcus Freeman is definitely wanting someone that can develop quarterbacks and different types of quarterbacks, which Colin Klein showed this year that he could create a productive offense with two totally different quarterbacks.
yeah.
And that was impressive because he was also talked about, if I'm not mistaken, and if I read reports correctly this morning, he was also on the list, and maybe not the short list, but the list for the Alabama job at one point. So, as much as people might not have been wowed by Colin Klein, he played the position, and playing the position, he's familiar with that. He recruited a big time quarterback, an elite level quarterback to Kansas State this year. And that might have gone into it, right? Like, man, I started this offense. I got my guys. We're rebuilding. The program is going and staying there. He played there. And I just recruited this Elite 11 kid to the program. So, it was a lot for him to think about. And ultimately, he was never offered the job, but, he kind of took himself out of the running for the position.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's so crazy to see um, just how it's getting done. Like you said, we're putting the pieces together on this. We're seeing kind of the moves being made that Marcus Freeman is definitely thinking future.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it definitely will put our quarterback room a little at ease because they know they got time. But for a guy like Sam Hartman, I don't know. Hopefully, it's just like, dang, what do you do now? What do you do?
Well, I don't think anything is, like Heather Dinich. She said he's no longer a candidate for the NDOC position. He did have conversations and interview, according to sources.
I saw that. But
You
it
know,
just makes sense. It's like, man, he's at a program that came basically out of nowhere. He's got his stamp on it. And they played great this season. So it's like, you know, it's a desirable position at Notre Dame, but like you said, it's definitely geared in a way where you have to make a lot of accommodations. The coaching staff that's here is here.
hmm,
A lot of guys don't want to, especially if they built the whole system with their guys and they're coming over naked almost.
yeah,
And I think it's going to be a particular person that's for that, but whatever.
yeah. I know from the Notre Dame side, it wasn't a fit. It wasn't a fit, and it was mutual.
Yeah.
Once again, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. a lot of these guys want to bring their own guys in. So when you
Yeah,
come into this situation and Notre Dame is saying, look, hey, yo, our running back coach, he's staying. Wide receiver coach, staying. Gerard Parker, staying. It's like, it's not your normal situation. And we can sit here and debate whether or not it's fair. The situation is what it is.
it is what it is.
Like, can you come in and develop quarterbacks and call plays?
That's why I need to be there. That's all I want to do. Develop quarterbacks and call plays. I already got my assistant ready. Look, Marcus Freeman. Look,
Wait. I'm gonna give you. Go ahead and make your 60-second pitch for the OC job at Notre Dame. Right here, live on the Lucky Lefty podcast. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Marcus Freeman. We talk about continuity. And the first things first. We're from Dayton, so we're already thinking of like fast, tough, physical, competitive, and dominance. That's what I am. I'm number one. I'm a player development first. We're talking about unit that is the leader of the team. Guys that are always prepared, always ready to lead by example, and a little vocal, also. But we're going to be able to help the offense be the coach on the field, and it's a player development first. And from that, we're going to have accountability. Accountability, something that's hard to do as a quarterback when you're trying to learn the ropes, but you're going to get the in-depth coaching experience for me on the player development, and also we're going to win. And calling plays is what I do best. I was able to take a team from a COVID season that was 0-3 with 26 kids and turn into a state championship team the next year. That's just the small sample size of what we can do. I know the staff. I know the flavor of the school. I know the guys around, and we can work together and win this thing, man. For sure.
I'm gonna cut it up and send it. I'm cutting it up and sending it. I'm cutting it up and sending it, baby. It's for the Culture Friday.
How we gonna beat Ohio State? Look, I don't even do that. How we gonna beat Ohio State? First things first, we're gonna get the ball to our playmakers. Tobias Merriweather is getting 15 attempts. Easy. That's to keep the dogs off us. That's to keep the dogs off us. Tobias Merriweather, Lorenzo Styles is gonna be like the race car track. They're just gonna be going up and down the field vertical. That's gonna stop the pressure from that secondary, and then we're gonna run that football. We might even have split back, the Dairy on one side, Aldrich on one side, Tyler Buckner in the middle. We going crazy. So we got a lot of potential. And, defensively, I know we're going to give us a chance. We're going to be able to run play action, and then we're going to spread it out a little bit because I trust that Tyler is going to take that next step in development from yours truly. And we're going to have a true air raid attack where the best thing that he's going to learn is how to stay healthy and limit the turnovers. If he do those two things right there, if he stay healthy, limit turnovers, this team can go undefeated. Telling you.
I'll cut it up. I'll send it. I'm definitely posting it separately on the YouTube page.
Yep, it's going to be there.
Oh, man. This is funny. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Luck for OC. Hashtag luck for OC. Go ahead. Hey, LL Nation, make it hot today. Hashtag luck for OC. We should make it hot.
If anything else, I can be a great recruiter. We can build the team out. I'll be your GM. I just want to be the GM of the team.
Brian Demo said, did you say I was there with Everett on your resume?
I got the greats. I was with the greats. Shout out to Ed, man.
Man, Lucky Lefty Podcast.
Yeah, that's right, Andrew Gilmore. I said no to not Andrew Gilmore. I said no to Saban too. See, Tommy couldn't do that. I said no to Saban in high school.
You said no to Saban and Urban.
And Urban. How about that? So you got your loyalty right there.
So, hey, should Notre Dame have a chip on their shoulder going into the season? Left. Should Notre Dame have a chip on their shoulder going into this season?
I don't know. I don't think we should go in there with a chip or anything to prove, because when you go in there on a chip, you're not going in there to dominate. You got a chip on your shoulder. You just trying to prove people wrong. I think we're past proving people wrong. We're a 10-win team. We're going in there to smack kids around. We're not looking to have a chip on our shoulder because that means that most people don't believe we can smack them around. We want people to believe we coming in town to smack you up a little bit. So I think we should get rid of the chip. The chip is cool when you on the come up, but we've arrived. We got rid of that old couch. Now we're getting a new couch. Right? We only made upgrades to the house. So at this point, the property value done went up. So I think we're in the right spot to be in that lane where these games like Toledo and Cal and Georgia Tech, they don't want to be on the field with us because we out there scoring 40, 50 points, shutting them down.
The reason the question came up is because it's a lot that's happened. We talked about the awkwardness of the first season under Marcus Freeman and the last year and everything that's happened. But for me, I just think the silence by the players. You had one or two players say something, but I think offensively, the silence of the players was kind of like, okay, you want to go to Bama? Okay. So I don't know. See, a chip, sometimes we think the POV of a chip on your shoulder is someone that's brash and in your face. You can have a chip on your shoulder and kind of be silent, like, okay, that's what we're doing. Right? They always tell us, if your girl ever stops talking to you, then get scared. Like if she's screaming, hollering, saying she's upset, fine. But if she ever just says, I ain't got nothing to
say. See,
that,
most of us guys will read that as, oh, she's just mature.
Yeah, nah, bro. Man. If that happens,
she's just being mature.
Yeah, most of us in our younger days do read it that way. Like, oh, I'm good. No, and it's the same thing.
The
I
game.
think the silence behind everything that's happened,
mm-hmm.
in my opinion, specifically for the offensive players, I think silently they're like, okay, all right, we're about to go put on a show.
Yeah, I think it's a calmness to it because they trust that we're gonna get there. So it may not have the right result yet, but I don't think the Kansas State opportunity with what they got going on can help us get to where we need to be anyway. I think it'd only take us so far, like make us good at what we're already good at. But I don't think it's going to challenge us to go to the next level, which I think Tommy did a good job of trying to get there, trying different things. But, some of them more along the lines of a more balanced offense, I think is important. Because look at their quarterback room at Kansas State. Ain't worth a damn neither.
He worked with it. He worked with it.
But he also recruited guys to that system. Like, you see how big that was? Like,
facts.
So
facts. And you saw what that system looked like against Alabama.
They don't recruit well enough to do that against Alabama. I mean, we might, but they don't recruit well enough to just think they're just going to out tough them,
Yeah. So, Lucky Lefty podcast. Left, I think you were disrespectful to, we have fans all over the globe. You disrespectful to our New York fans recently.
What?
I think our boy Donnie Cruz is going to be upset. And why? Because you said you tasted the best chopped cheese out of Arizona, bro. Now that's kind of disrespectful. That's like saying you went to Arizona and got some of the best pizza ever, or some of the best Italian beef ever. Like,
I couldn't believe it. There was this little New York shop right down the street from the
Wait,
gas
so
station.
wait, so it was a New York shop.
It's a New York kind of shop,
Okay.
but you're in Arizona. It's just like the pyramids once they got out of Africa only got smaller. So
No,
you're
I'm
not expecting the taste to be. You're not expecting the
no.
taste to be the same.
If the proprietor is true New York and the cook is true New York, that transfers no matter where they go. But go
Really?
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. But is it the same as is the Harold's chicken where you're at on 63rd the same as the Harold's chicken in?
They just opened a Harold's Chicken out in LA.
But is it the same?
I haven't been there.
But it's
When
not.
I come next week, I'm going to give you the update and let you know. If it's an owner that owns one in Chicago, they have the same vibe, and Chicago people are running it. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see.
Well, they did have a New York flavor to it. I mean, the cook didn't even speak English. He was straight Italian. Went back there, didn't have no gloves on, but I understood. I understood. He really tried to get the flavor.
So he was. Wait a minute. He was out there like ODB making the hamburger and state property. Like, what you want? What's good? Yeah. They handmade.
It was, and I couldn't even be mad because I'm like, this is real New York, okay?
Oh no,
Arizona, and man, it was great. It was a great sandwich. I'm probably going back today.
Lilo. Hey, you need to relax. Hold on. Hold. First of all, I don't know what you mean by hood chicken. You need to relax. If you like Gus's famous chicken better, that's cool. But you need to find another adjective for Harold's. Hold on. Relax.
What is a hood chicken?
I have no clue. Hood chicken? Like,
That's a
hold
tweet of
on.
the day.
Relax.
Somebody tell me what a hood
Because
chicken is.
some of the best people that fry chicken in this world live in the hood. So
What is hood chicken?
I don't. Come on, man. You've got to find a better adjective than hood chicken.
I've never heard somebody say hood chicken. Boy, oh boy, they just tell them what it is. The hands that prepared it,
Bro.
just a little different.
Lucky Lefty podcast. But yeah, you saying you found the best chopped cheese ever out in Arizona.
Man, I couldn't believe it. And I'm like, the New York streets are done. What they taking your heart and soul. They taking the heart and soul out of New York.
You're going a little bit too far.
You're getting the flavor everywhere now. Come on, I don't know about that, man.
You know what time it is.
Petticoat. Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty historic? Petty Junction.
Petty Junction, pettiest stories of the day brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. I go back in the past. Today is the 19th year anniversary of the drop of an album that truly put Chicago on the map, and that is The College Dropout. The crazy thing is, it lines up with one of my pettiest experiences ever. So I'm putting Paul Pierce on the petty train. This is February the 10th, 2004. I actually had the album because it came out early in the streets here in Chicago. So I actually had it on CD. I flew in a week before All-Star game. My boy A-Trey was out there. I stayed with him in West Hollywood. I never forget. I think we ate Roscoe's like every day. Went and picked it up. And we just beat The College Dropout driving around all week long. Nobody else out there had it.
Yeah.
So we're listening to it, and it's finally released on that Friday. And so the All-Star game was that Sunday. So we go to this party on Friday night, right? And you know, LA is spread out. So, you know, you got a party over in West Hollywood. Now you got to go drive through the mountains to get to another party over here. It was crazy. So we go to this party and we're chilling and we're in there. And when we walk in the party, it's a group of 4 of us. It's 4 dudes. And the ratio was sweet. When I tell you the ratio was sweet, the ratio was like 5-1 in our favor.
Mm.
So we walk in, we get a booth. Man, cats are flocking. We're holding court, laughing, having fun. And the next thing you know, this cat, Paul Pierce, walks in. I lie to you not, Left. Every female that was around us went into the back in this private room with him. And I swear we were sitting there with maybe like 2 girls. I hated Paul Pierce for the rest of his career, bro. For the rest, I was like, this dude is a bum.
And
For
that's
the rest of his
exactly
career,
why.
he's a bum.
That's exactly why athletes shouldn't go to these frat parties. It happens the same way. You, the athlete, go to these frats thinking it's cool. All the honeys swarm to you. Them frat dudes put their whole week on the line, advertising, talking to the little shorties in class, trying to grease them up all week.
You sound like you're talking from experience, though.
No, I'm just saying. I don't. That's why I stopped going. They'll start hating on you. They'll boo you at the game for real because they remember you took little Sally's soup.
He took her when I
And he was
was
trying so hard to go to the frat party all week.
I worked all semester to get her to
All
come to
semester.
a party. All semester.
And then you got old Jerry from the football team just walking on in. He don't stand a chance.
Now, at that time, I failed to realize that Paul Pierce was from Los Angeles,
It's even worse.
but he was still. He didn't. At that point, he didn't have any championships, dog. He was
wasn't the
nothing to
truth
me.
yet.
No, he was nothing to me, dude. This was the same dude from Kansas that could never get a national championship. Let's skip this bum. That dude was a bum, and he's still a bum to
Still
this
a
day.
bum.
He's still a
Still
bum
a
in my
bum.
mind. When I saw that pop up on my timeline, the only thing I could think about today was Paul Pierce. You're on the petty train. You're a bum. You're a lifetime member of my petty train. You're a bum. You're a bum. Come in there and wreck a good time, dude.
Hey, you said it
could have
was a
grabbed.
setup, wasn't it? You said
I
it was a
wouldn't.
setup.
I wouldn't have been mad if he walked over and grabbed the best of the best. Okay, grab the best of the best.
You Paul Pierce.
Grab the best of the best.
You can afford that.
Everybody has to follow you, my man.
Yeah, you done messed up
Come on,
everybody's
man.
fun, bro.
Come
That's
on, man.
it.
Lucky Lefty Podcast. Have a great weekend. We'll be back. The players talk today. Matter of fact, the players should be starting their interviews in about 30 minutes. We'll bring it to you live on Monday, what they had to say on new transfers and some of the youngsters, and if the coaches decide to speak. And hopefully, early next week, we'll have a new hire as the new offensive coordinator of Notre Dame. Have a great weekend, but most of all, make sure that you spin it different.